Back in 1942, my father had about a 1938 Chevrolet four-door blue car. My dad sold that car in order to buy a home. My father never had a new car, but when he got a job, they supplied him with a company truck, which was a quarter-ton Chevy truck, for transportation to and from work, so he still didn't own a car. But we used to go out and look at cars in showrooms every year they came out. We used to go to 4 dealers. We went to Larsville dealer, which was Davis Chevrolet. We went to Bonner's in Kingston. We also went to City Chevrolet. We also used to look at cars at Roy Stoppers in West Pittston. When I was a junior in high school, I got my driver's license. Didn't have a car. My father still didn't have a car. He used a company truck. But I used to borrow cars from my friends. I used to drive a 1939 Ford small pickup truck. Later, he got rid of the truck and got a 49 Ford, and I used to borrow his 49 Ford, which was a nice car. And then my cousin used to own a 1948 or 49 Packard, and I used to borrow that one. But back in 1955, Chevrolet came out with Bel-Air 2-door hardtop. But in 1956, they came out with something they never had before, a 1956 4-door hardtop. So one day my father said, let's go out looking for cars, see what they look like. So we went to Davis Chevrolet, looked at what they had. We went to Bonner Chevrolet and looked at what they had. We also went to City Chevrolet and looked at the cars that they had. Well, we also went to West Pittston to Roy Stoppers, and my dad stayed in the truck and he sent me in the showroom. On the showroom floor, there was about 13 or 15 new cars, but in the center of the showroom was a booth where the salesman would stand, and they would be able to see anyone that was in the place because they were in the air, higher than the showroom floor would be. So I was looking at this 56 Chevy 4-door hardtop, red and cream, but no one came down to even ask me what I wanted, and I was in there for about 10 minutes. When I came back after my father, he said, well, what did they say? I said, Dad, they wouldn't even wait on me. They wouldn't even come down from the booth. So that's all there was to it. So he said we'd go home. Well, we got home, and that was, I guess, was the end of it. At least I thought it was. Well, the next day, my dad said, let's go up to Davis Chevrolet. I think they have a 56 4-door, red and cream, like we were looking at. So when we got up there was the car sitting out on the lot, and the salesman said to me, would you want to take the car for a test drive? I said, sure, I'd love to. So he let me drive the car. When we went up the road for about 2 miles and 2 miles back. When we got back to the lot, he said, well, how did you like the car? I said, oh, it's beautiful. He said, well, your dad bought it for you last night. So we got in the car, and my dad left the truck there, and he said, come on, we're going up to West Pittston. So he drove me up to West Pittston in the new car and parked right outside the showroom. When we were outside the showroom, he said, you go in there and tell them what you got. So I went in. The same 3 fellas were there the night before. And I walked over to the booth, and I said, fellas, see this car you have here? And look at the car that's out there. My dad bought this last night for me because you fellas would not wait on me when I came in here yesterday. So the man we bought the car from, his name was Joe Moran. And because he gave my dad such a good deal, I bought 7 more brand new cars from him from 1956 to 1978. I bought 7 cars.